Stop looking for a comfortable place to hide. Comfort is the enemy. This is not a suggestion, this is a demolition of your current self. Over the next 30 days, we are going to burn down the house of cards you call your personality and rebuild it with steel. You are listening to this because you are tired of breaking under pressure. You are tired of being weak. Good. By the end of this audio, you will be unrecognizable to the people who know you. The era of fragility ends right now. Welcome to the Forge. Chapter 1. The era of weakness ends now. We begin with a funeral. Right now, in this moment, we are here to bury the version of you that has failed. We are here to bury the version of you that accepts second place. We are here to bury the version of you that is soft. Look at your life. Look at the results you have generated up until this very second. Are you satisfied? Be honest. Are you truly satisfied? If the answer is yes, turn this audio off. You don't need me. But you and I both know the answer is no. You are here because you feel a gap between where you are and where you know you should be. The gap exists for one reason. It is not because the world is unfair. It is not because you lack talent. It is not because of bad luck. The gap exists because you have tolerated mediocrity. You have made a habit of accepting less than you deserve. You have made a habit of weakness. The era of weakness ends now. But before we can build the iron mind, you must admit that the current structure is made of straw. You cannot renovate a house that is collapsing. You must bulldoze it. You must admit you are soft before you can become hard. That is the hardest thing for a human being to do. The ego hates it. The ego wants to say, I'm doing my best. I'm trying hard. I have difficult circumstances. Silence the ego. Look in the mirror. Most people fail because they are terrified of the truth. They layer their lives with comfortable lies. They tell themselves they are working on it when they are actually procrastinating. They tell themselves they are tired when they are actually lazy. Acceptance is the first step of warfare. You are at war with your lower self, and you cannot fight an enemy you refuse to see. You have to look at your reflection and say, I am the problem. Say it. I am the problem. It hurts. It stings. Good. Let it burn. Because once you admit that you are the source of your own failure, you unlock the ultimate power. If you are the source of the failure, you are the source of the success. You are the problem, and you are the solution. That is the baseline. We build from here. We build from the rubble of your excuses. Let's look at what we are destroying. Let's look at the modern drifter. This is the default setting of 99% of the population. The modern drifter is a reactive creature. He does not act, he is acted upon. He wakes up and the first thing he does is grab his phone. He scrolls. He lets the world dictate his mood before his feet even hit the floor. He sees a bad news headline. Now he is anxious. He sees a friend on vacation. Now he is jealous. He gets a rude email. Now he is defensive. He is a leaf in the wind. The wind blows left, he goes left. The wind blows right, he goes right. He has no core. He has no iron. He is soft. Softness is a choice you make every morning. When you hit the snooze button, you are choosing softness. You are telling your subconscious that 5 minutes of low-quality sleep is more important than your mission. You have lost the first battle of the day. When you skip the workout because you don't feel like it, you are choosing softness. You are letting a temporary emotion dictate your long-term reality. When you keep your mouth shut instead of speaking the truth because you want to be liked, you are choosing softness. You are trading your integrity for comfort. Stop choosing softness. Contrast the modern drifter with the iron operator. This is who you are becoming. This is the goal. The iron operator moves with absolute intent regardless of the environment. The environment is irrelevant. Is it raining? The operator trains anyway. Is the economy crashing? The operator finds a new angle. Is he tired? The operator works. The iron operator does not react, he responds, he executes. Imagine a soldier in the trenches. Chaos is everywhere, noise, confusion, fear. The drifter panics, the drifter freezes, the drifter waits for someone to tell him what to do. The iron operator assesses the situation. He detaches from the fear. He formulates a plan. He executes the plan. He does not need the conditions to be perfect. He forces the conditions to bend to his will.
You have a choice. Every single second of every single day, you have a choice. Are you the drifter or the operator? Most of you are drifting. You are waiting for motivation to strike. You are waiting for the right time. You are waiting for permission. You don't need their permission. You need your own command. The difference between the elite and the average is not genetics. It is not money. It is the refusal to tolerate a soft mind. The iron operator looks at discomfort and runs toward it. The drifter runs away. You have spent years running away. You have spent years building a castle of comfort. You have air-conditioned your life to the point where you cannot handle a little bit of heat. We are turning off the air conditioning. We are lighting a fire. You must understand that mental toughness is not a trait you are born with. It is a muscle. And like any muscle, it only grows under tension. It only grows under weight. If you lift a feather, you get weak arms. If you lift a heavy iron bar, you get strong arms. Your life has been a feather. You have avoided the heavy lifting. You have avoided the difficult conversations. You have avoided the hard work. You have avoided the pain. That ends today. Softness is a choice you make every morning, and starting tomorrow, you are going to make a different choice. You are going to wake up and you are going to look at the cold floor and you are going to say, "This is my training ground." You are going to look at the stack of work you have been avoiding and say, "This is my weight." You are going to stop seeking the path of least resistance. You are going to seek the path of maximum resistance, because that is where the iron is forged. Acceptance is the first step of warfare. Accept that you have been weak. Do not shame yourself, just accept it as data. I was weak yesterday. I was a drifter yesterday. That is a fact. But facts can change. Today, you are the operator. Today, you stop reacting to every notification, every slight, every inconvenience. Let the world scream. Let the world panic. You are a stone in the river. The water rushes around you, but you do not move. You possess absolute intent. Focus on that word, intent. The drifter moves by accident. The operator moves by intent. When you walk into a room, walk with intent. When you speak, speak with intent. When you work, work with intent. Stop sleepwalking through your life. Wake up. You are the problem, and you are the solution. This is the liberating truth. If your softness is your fault, then your strength is within your control. You don't need a guru. You don't need a miracle. You just need to flip the switch. The switch is in your mind. It is the decision to stop negotiating with yourself. It is the decision to stop tolerating your own excuses. I want you to take a moment right now. Identify one area of your life where you are being soft. Is it your diet? Is it your finances? Is it your relationship? Is it your work ethic? Identify it. Look at it. Admit it. Say it. I have been weak here. Now, kill that version of you. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. The era of weakness is over. You have drawn a line in the sand. You have crossed it. There is no going back. The person who tolerated that mediocrity is dead. You are the iron operator now. But be warned, The moment you decide to be strong, the world will test you. It will try to drag you back into the drift. It will try to make you a victim again. It will try to make you blame others for your situation. But we have an answer for that. We have a weapon for that. You have accepted that you are the problem. Now, you must learn to destroy the instinct to blame. You must learn to starve the victor inside you so the victor can eat. You have admitted the weakness. Now, let's talk about how to take total, radical ownership of your reality.
Chapter 2. Starve the victim, feed the victor. You are infected with a virus. It is a subtle virus. It hides in your language. It hides in your thoughts. It hides in the conversations you have with your friends when you are venting about your day. It is the most destructive force in the human psyche because it renders you powerless while convincing you that you are morally superior. That virus is blame. We live in a culture that celebrates the victim. We hand out trophies for suffering. We give social status to the person who has been wronged the most. Society tells you that if you are miserable, it is because the system is rigged, because your boss is a tyrant, because your parents didn't hug you enough, or because the economy is down. Society is lying to you to keep you weak. Blame is the weapon of the weak. When you blame something outside of yourself for your current situation, you are admitting defeat. You are handing over the keys to your life to a stranger. You are saying, I have no control here. And if you have no control, you cannot change anything. If you want to forge an iron mind, you must eliminate all external blame. All of it, zero exceptions. This is the concept of radical responsibility. It is the bedrock of the elite mindset. Here is the rule. Everything that happens in your life is your fault. I can hear your ego screaming already, but that's not fair. I didn't cause the car accident. I didn't cause the layoffs. I don't care about fair. Fair is a fairy tale for children. I care about power. And you cannot have power without responsibility. If it rains and you get wet, whose fault is it? The average person blames the clouds. The average person says, the weather ruined my day. The iron operator says, I failed to bring an umbrella. I failed to check the forecast. This is on me. Do you see the difference? The weather is out of your control. Your preparation is within your control. Blame is the weapon of the weak because it focuses on the uncontrollable. Responsibility is the weapon of the strong because it focuses on the controllable. Own the outcome. Let's look at a concrete example. Let's look at the workplace. We have two employees, the subordinate and the leader. Both of them lead a project that fails miserably. The client hates it, the company loses money. The subordinate walks into the debrief meeting. He has a stack of excuses ready. He says, the client didn't give us clear instructions. The deadline was impossible. The marketing team didn't send the assets on time. It wasn't my fault. He feels safe. He has defended his ego. But look at what he has actually done. He has just announced to the room that he is a victim of circumstance. He has announced that he cannot be trusted to handle difficult situations because he is at the mercy of everyone else. He is a leaf in the wind. Now the leader walks in. Same project, same failure. The leader says, we failed. The instructions were unclear, and I failed to clarify them. The deadline was tight, and I failed to allocate resources correctly. The marketing team was late, and I failed to follow up with them aggressively enough. I own this. Here is the plan to fix it. Who do you respect? Who do you promote? Who do you follow into battle? You follow the person who takes the hits. You follow the person who refuses to pass the buck. You have a choice. In every failure, you can choose to be the victim who seeks sympathy, or you can be the victor who seeks a solution. You cannot be both. You must starve the victim. The victim inside you is hungry. It feeds on validation. It feeds on people saying, oh, you poor thing, that's so hard. Every time you complain, you are feeding the victim. Every time you gossip about how unfair your boss is, you are feeding the victim. Stop feeding the parasite. You need to audit your language. The language of the victim is passive. This happened to me. They made me feel this way. I had no choice. That is a lie. You always have a choice. The language of the victor is active. I chose this. I allowed this. I created this. Let's get specific. Let's look at your relationships. Did your partner treat you poorly? Did they betray you? The victim says, they are a bad person. The victor says, I ignored the red flags. I tolerated disrespect. I stayed longer than I should have. I chose this person. That hurts, doesn't it? It stings to admit that you walked into the trap willingly. But that pain is the price of freedom. If you chose the wrong partner, you can choose a better one next time. If you simply got unlucky, you are doomed to repeat the cycle. Nobody is coming to save you.
Look around. Look at the government. Look at your family. Look at your friends. They are all fighting their own battles. They are not thinking about you. There is no lifeboat coming. There is no superhero swooping down to pay your debt or fix your health or repair your marriage. Nobody is coming to save you. If you are overweight, it is not because of your genetics. It is because you put too much food in your mouth and you don't move enough. Own the outcome. If you are broke, it is not because of the economy. It is because you haven't made yourself valuable enough to the marketplace. Own the outcome. If you are lonely, it is not because people are mean. It is because you are not making the effort to connect, or you are unpleasant to be around. Own the outcome. This is tough love, but it is the only love that works. Soft love keeps you trapped in the crib. Tough love pushes you out of the nest so you can learn to fly. You have to catch yourself in the moment. This requires extreme mindfulness. The moment something goes wrong, your instinct will be to look outward. Your eyes will scan the room for a scapegoat. Stop. Engage the emergency brake. Ask yourself, what was my role in this? Even if you were only 1% responsible, focus entirely on that 1%. That 1% is your foothold. That 1% is where your power lives. It's not about guilt. Guilt is useless emotion. Guilt is looking back and feeling bad. Responsibility is looking forward and taking action. It's not about past failure. It's about future discipline. When you operate this way, you become terrifyingly effective. People who blame others waste energy. They waste hours, days, and years stewing in resentment. Resentment is poison you drink expecting the other person to die. The iron mind has no time for resentment. The iron mind processes the failure, extracts the lesson, accepts the responsibility, and moves immediately to the next objective. Starve the victim. Let it die of malnutrition. When you stop complaining, the victim shrinks. When you stop blaming, the victim withers. Feed the victor. Feed the victor with small wins born from ownership. I messed up that presentation. Good. Now rewrite it. That is food for the victor. I ate garbage yesterday. Good. Fast today. That is food for the victor. I wasted time. Good. Work late tonight. That is food for the victor. Nobody is coming to save you. You are the architect of your own rescue. Listen to me closely. The world does not care about your excuses. The market does not care why you didn't deliver. Reality is indifferent to your reasons. Reality only respects results. Blame is the weapon of the weak. It shields you from the truth, and the truth is the only thing that can set you free. You have a choice today. Someone will annoy you. Someone will fail you. Something will go wrong. In that moment, you stand at the crossroads. Path A, they're an idiot. This is unfair. Path B, I need to communicate better. I need to adjust my strategy. take path B. Take the path of heavy resistance. The weight of responsibility is heavy, yes, but it is the weight that builds the muscle. The lightness of blame is the lightness of a ghost. You float through life, invisible, unimpactful, and forgotten. Don't be a ghost. Be a force of nature. Start listening to the words coming out of your mouth. If you hear a complaint, bite your tongue. Literally, bite it if you have to. Swallow the complaint. Digest it. Transmute it into a plan. You don't need their permission to take control. You don't need an apology to move on. You just need to decide that from this day forward, nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you and by you. You are the captain. The ship might be sinking, but you are the steering. And if you steer with conviction, you can patch the hull. You can navigate the storm. But you can only do that if your hands are on the wheel, not pointing fingers at the crew. You have taken the first step. You have admitted you were soft. Now you have taken the second step. You have taken ownership of the mess. You are standing in the wreckage of your past choices, and you are saying, I built this. Good. If you built the wreckage, you can build the castle. But as you start to rebuild, as you start to take action, you are going to run into a new enemy. It's not an external enemy. It's an internal traitor. It is your own nervous system. You will feel fear. You will feel anxiety. You will feel doubt. These feelings will scream at you to stop. They will try to give you orders. You have mastered your responsibility. Now you must master your biology. You must learn that just because you feel something, it doesn't mean you have to obey it. Let's talk about how to put your feelings in a cage where they belong.
Chapter 3. Emotions are not orders. You are a slave to your own chemistry. That is the harsh reality for most of you. You wake up and you scan your body and your mind for a status report. How do I feel today? Am I motivated? Am I sad? Am I anxious? Then, based on that random biological data, you decide how your day is going to go. If you feel good, you work. If you feel bad, you hide. You have handed the steering wheel of your life to a toddler. Your emotions are a toddler. They are volatile. They are irrational. They scream for attention. They want candy and they want it now. If you let the toddler drive the car, you will crash. The iron mind understands a fundamental truth that the weak mind ignores. Emotions are biological suggestions, not commands. Just because you feel fear does not mean you must stop. Just because you feel tired does not mean you must sleep. Just because you feel angry does not mean you must yell. You have a choice. You must learn to decouple your action from your emotional state. This is the superpower of the elite. The ability to feel one thing and do the exact opposite. Facts over feelings. Write that down. Tattoo it on your brain. Facts over feelings. The fact is, you need to go to the gym to stay alive and strong. The feeling is, I'm tired and the bed is warm. The fact is, you need to make those sales calls to pay your rent. The feeling is, I'm afraid of rejection. Which one wins? For the amateur, the feeling wins every time. The amateur waits for the feeling to align with the goal. They wait for inspiration. They wait to feel ready. You will never feel ready. That is the trap. The professional, the iron operator, does not wait. He acts. Let's look at the example of a trauma surgeon. Imagine a surgeon scrubbing in for a life or death procedure. A child is on the table. The parents are screaming in the waiting room. The pressure is crushing. Do you think the surgeon is relaxed? Do you think he is feeling the flow? No. His heart rate is elevated. His cortisol is spiking. He feels the weight of the universe. He feels fear. But look at his hands. His hands are steady. He makes the incision with absolute precision. He navigates arteries with the calmness of a machine. Why? Because he has separated his biology from his duty. He has learned that his internal state is irrelevant to the external task. If his hands shake because he is nervous, the patient dies, so he does not let them shake. He feels the fear, acknowledges it, and then tells his hands to move according to his training, not his terror. He operates despite the nerves. You must become the surgeon of your own life. Your emotions are irrelevant to the mission. When you sit down to work and you feel that wave of boredom or anxiety, say to yourself, "I notice that I am anxious. That is interesting. Now I will write the report." You are not suppressing the emotion. Suppression is dangerous. It leads to explosions. We are not talking about suppression. We are talking about containment. I want you to visualize a soundproof box. It is made of thick, bulletproof glass. It sits in the corner of your mind. When an unhelpful emotion arises, fear, doubt, lethargy, do not fight it. Do not argue with it. Simply pick it up by the scruff of its neck and put it in the soundproof box. Lock the door. You can still see it. You can see the fear screaming behind the glass. You can see the doubt pounding on the walls, but you cannot hear it, and it cannot touch the controls. You are safe behind the console. You are the operator. The toddler is in the box. Now you do the work. Do the work regardless of the mood. This is the standard. There is no other standard. "I didn't feel like it" is not a valid excuse for an adult. "I didn't feel like it" is what a child says when they don't want to brush their teeth. Are you a child or are you a commander? You don't need their permission. You don't need your feelings' permission to be great. People talk about authenticity. They say, if I do something when I don't feel like it, I'm being fake. That is nonsense. That is a lie weak people tell themselves to justify their laziness. Doing what is required when you don't want to do it is not fake. It is called discipline. It is called integrity. It means your word is stronger than your mood. It's not about authenticity, it's about effectiveness. If you only loved your spouse when you felt like it, you would be divorced in a month. Love is a verb. Love is a duty. It is an action you take even when you are annoyed. If you only worked when you felt inspired, you would be broke. Facts over feelings. The market does not care about your mood. The weights in the gym do not care about your mood. The steepness of the mountain does not care about your mood. The mountain remains steep. The weight remains heavy. The only variable is you. If you wait until you feel confident to start, you will never start. Confidence comes after the action, not before. You act, you survive, you succeed, and then you feel confident. You have a choice. You can continue to ride the roller coaster of your emotions, up one day, down the next, productive on Tuesday, paralyzed on Wednesday. Or you can get off the ride. You can stand on solid ground. The iron mind operates on a flat line of execution. Highs? Don't care. Keep working. Lows? Don't care. Keep working. Your emotions are irrelevant to the mission. This requires practice. You will fail at first. Tomorrow you will feel tired and you will want to skip the gym. In that split second, you must catch yourself. You must intervene. I feel tired. That is a biological signal. It is just data. It means my glycogen is low or my sleep was poor. It does not mean stay in bed. Acknowledge the data. I am tired. Then issue the command. Get up. Do not negotiate. The moment you start negotiating with your feelings, you have lost. You cannot argue with a toddler. You just tell them what to do. I am afraid. Do it anyway. I am bored. Do it anyway. I am depressed. Do the work anyway. This is the path to freedom. Real freedom is not doing whatever you want. Real freedom is being able to do what you must, regardless of how you feel.
If your actions are tied to your feelings, you are a puppet. The world pulls the strings. A bad comment, a rainy day, a rude driver. Anyone can pull your strings and make you dance. Cut the strings. Decouple, detach, execute. Do the work regardless of the mood. When you master this, you become dangerous. You become reliable. You become the person who can be counted on when the building is on fire. Everyone else is panicking, running on pure emotion. You are operating. You are moving. You are saving the day because you have put the panic in the box. That's the key. The box is always there. Use it. Start today. The next time you feel an urge to procrastinate, the next time you feel a pang of anxiety, visualize the box. Put the feeling inside. Turn your back on it and get your hands moving. Motion kills emotion. Action cures fear. You have stopped blaming the world. You have stopped letting your feelings run the show. You are gaining control. But control is not enough. To truly forge an iron mind, you cannot just handle the pain that life throws at you. You must go one step further. You must stop waiting for the struggle and start hunting for it. You have learned to tolerate discomfort. Now you must learn to crave it. You must understand that comfort is a slow death, and the only way to stay alive is to introduce controlled chaos into your system.
Chapter 4: The Art of Voluntary Suffering. Civilization has a goal. The entire structure of modern society, the technology, the economy, the marketing, is designed for one singular purpose: to make you comfortable. Everything is engineered to be easier: faster food, softer beds, warmer houses, entertainment on demand. You can go your entire life without ever feeling cold, hungry, or physically exhausted. You can live in a padded cell of convenience. And this convenience is killing you. Comfort is a slow death. Comfort is the soil where weakness grows. When you are comfortable, you stagnate. When you are comfortable, you atrophy. Your mind, just like your body, follows the law of use and disuse. If you do not stress it, it becomes fragile. You have a choice. You can embrace the comfort and become a porcelain doll, ready to shatter at the first sign of impact. Or you can reject the comfort and become iron. To become iron, you must master the art of voluntary suffering. This is not about punishment. This is about preparation. Here is the truth. Life is suffering. This is the first noble truth of Buddhism and the first rule of the streets. Chaos is coming. Tragedy is coming. You will lose money. You will lose loved ones. You will get sick. You will be betrayed. If you do not choose your struggle, life will choose it for you. And when life chooses it, it will not be polite. It will catch you off guard. And if you have spent your life on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, avoiding anything hard, that chaos will snap you in half. But if you have trained, if you have introduced controlled pain into your ecosystem every single day, you will be immune. That's the key. You are building an immunity to pain. Think of it like a vaccine. A vaccine introduces a small, controlled amount of a virus into the body so the immune system can learn how to fight it. Voluntary suffering is a vaccine for the mind. You introduce controlled stress, cold, heat, hunger, exertion, so that when the real stress comes, your mind says, "I know this. I have been here before. I can handle this." Seek the discomfort. You must go out of your way to find things that suck. You must hunt for the difficult path. Pain is the refining fire. Gold cannot be purified without fire. A sword cannot be forged without the hammer and the heat. You are the raw ore. You are full of impurities, laziness, fear, hesitation, entitlement. The only way to burn those impurities out is to step into the fire. Let's get practical. How do you do this? You don't need a dungeon. You don't need a war. You just need the cold dawn. This is the protocol. This is the daily ritual of the Iron Operator.
The cold dawn consists of 3 pillars: early wake, thermal shock, and physical exertion. First, the wake. You get up before the sun. You get up when the rest of the world is dead asleep. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., it doesn't matter, as long as it is dark and as long as you are tired. The alarm goes off. Your body screams, "No." Your brain says, 5 more minutes. You have a choice. Do you negotiate or do you execute? If you hit snooze, you have lost. You have started your day with a defeat. You have told yourself that your comfort is more important than your command. But if you get up instantly, without hesitation, you have won the first victory. You have calloused the mind. Second, the thermal shock. You walk to the shower. You turn the handle to the coldest setting, not lukewarm, freezing, and you step in. Your breath catches, your heart rate spikes, your brain panics. It yells, "Get out, this is dangerous, this is uncomfortable." Good, that panic is the weakness leaving your body. Stand there, breathe, control the panic, force your body to relax in the midst of the stress. This is not about getting clean, this is about getting hard. This is about looking at pain and saying, "You do not control me." It's not about the cold water, it's about the discipline. Third, the physical exertion. You must lift something heavy or run until your lungs burn. You must take your body to the point of failure. You must reach the point where your mind wants to quit, and then you must do one more rep. Why? Because that moment, the moment you want to quit, is the only moment that matters. That is where the growth happens. That is where the callus forms. Callus the mind. Think about a mechanic's hands. They are rough, they are textured. You can rub sandpaper on them and he won't feel a thing. Now think of a newborn baby's hands. Soft, sensitive. One prick of a thorn and the baby cries. Your mind is currently a baby's hand. Every criticism hurts. Every setback feels like a tragedy. You are too sensitive. You need to rub your mind against the sandpaper of voluntary suffering until it develops a thick layer of armor. Seek the discomfort. When you take the stairs instead of the elevator, you are callousing the mind. When you fast for 24 hours and ignore the hunger pangs, you are callousing the mind. When you run in the rain instead of waiting for the sun, you are callousing the mind. You are training yourself to function when things are not perfect. The modern drifter needs perfect conditions to operate. I can't work, my chair isn't comfortable. I can't train, my shoes are old. I can't focus, it's too noisy. Pathetic. The Iron Operator operates in any condition because he has trained in every condition. Pain is the refining fire. It burns away the entitlement. You cannot feel entitled when you are freezing cold. You cannot feel entitled when you are under a 300-pound barbell. The iron is honest. The cold is honest. They humble you, and humility is the foundation of strength. You don't need their permission to suffer. People will think you are crazy. They will ask, "Why do you get up so early? Why do you run so far? Why are you so hard on yourself?" They will try to drag you back to the comfort. They will say, "Relax, take a break, you work too hard." Ignore them. They are trying to infect you with their softness. They are threatened by your discipline because it shines a light on their laziness. Tell them nothing. Just do the work. Every time you choose the hard path, you are making a deposit in the bank of mental resilience. And one day, you will need to make a withdrawal. One day, the doctor will walk into the room with bad news. One day, the market will crash and take your savings. One day, your world will fall apart. In that moment, the person who has lived a life of comfort will crumble. They will panic. They will break. But you will stand. You will take the hit. You will bleed, but you will not fold, because you have been here before. You have visited the darkness voluntarily 1,000 times, so when the darkness comes for you involuntarily, you are not afraid. You are at home. You have a choice: comfort or growth, safety or greatness, softness or iron. You cannot have both. Start small, but start today. Park your car at the back of the lot. Walk. Take the stairs. Turn the shower to cold for the last 30 seconds. Skip a meal. Seek the discomfort. Hunt it down. Make it your friend. When you start to love the pain, you become unstoppable. Because if pain can't stop you, what can? Nothing. That's the key. The goal is to reach a state where you are comfortable being uncomfortable, where chaos feels like a warm blanket, where pressure feels like a privilege. You are building a fortress. The walls are made of discipline, the mortar is made of sweat, and the gate is guarded by the iron mind. Callous the mind. Do it every single day. You have learned to stop blaming. You have learned to ignore your emotions, and now you have learned to seek out pain to harden your spirit. You are becoming a formidable entity. But there is still a chink in your armor. There is still a weakness that can bring even the strongest man to his knees. It is not physical pain. It is not cold. It is something much more insidious. It is the desperate need for other people to clap for you. You are still looking over your shoulder to see if anyone is watching. You are still seeking validation. You are still hoping they like you. This need is a leash, and as long as you wear it, you are a dog. It is time to cut the leash. It is time to learn how to walk alone.
Chapter 5. Kill the need to be liked. You are an addict. You might not smoke, you might not drink, and you might not gamble, but you are addicted to a drug that is just as destructive. You are addicted to the approval of others. You wake up and check your phone. You post a photo and wait for the dopamine hit of a like. You walk into a room and immediately scan faces to see if you are accepted. You hold back your true thoughts because you are terrified of offending someone. You change your personality to fit the container of the room you are in. You are a chameleon, and chameleons are prey. This need to be liked is a parasite. It eats your energy. It eats your focus. It eats your potential. You cannot forge an iron mind if you are porous to the opinions of others. If every criticism penetrates your armor and every compliment inflates your ego, you are unstable. You are weak. You have a choice. You can be liked by everyone, or you can be respected by the people who matter. You cannot be both. The path to mental supremacy is a lonely path. It is narrow, it is steep. And if you are constantly stopping to ask the crowd, "Am I doing this right? Do you approve of me?" you will never reach the summit. Validation is for children. Children need their parents to tell them they did a good job. Children need a gold star on their homework to feel valuable. That is appropriate for a 5-year-old, but you are not 5. You are a grown man or woman. If you still need a gold star from society to feel okay with yourself, you are emotionally stunted. It is time to grow up. It is time to cut the umbilical cord. Validation is for children. Adults validate themselves. The iron mind generates its own energy. It does not need to be plugged into the grid of public opinion. The iron mind knows its value based on its actions, not its audience. Consider the analogy of the lion and the sheep. The sheep lives in a constant state of anxiety. It moves with the herd. It bleats when others bleat. It goes where the flock goes. Its entire survival strategy is based on blending in, on being liked, on not standing out. The sheep is terrified of being alone because to be alone is to die. Now, look at the lion. The lion rests in the shade. It walks with a slow, heavy confidence. Does the lion care what the sheep think of him? Does the lion lose sleep because the gazelle thinks he is aggressive? Does the lion ask the hyena for permission to hunt? No, the lion does not concern himself with the opinions of the food chain. The lion simply is. You are acting like a sheep. You are terrified of standing out. You are terrified that if you start waking up at 4 a.m., your friends will think you're weird. You are terrified that if you stop drinking to focus on your business, your coworkers will think you're boring. Let them think it. Their doubt is your fuel. Every time someone calls you crazy, obsessive, or too intense, take it as a compliment. It means you are leaving the herd. It means you are becoming the lion. You don't need their permission to be great. You don't need their permission to change. Most people are average. Their opinions are average. Their advice is average. If you listen to them, you will become average. Why would you take directions from someone who has never been where you want to go? It's not about arrogance, it's about discipline. It requires discipline to ignore the noise. It requires discipline to close your ears to the chatter. The most dangerous form of validation seeking is the announcement. You decide you are going to lose weight. What is the first thing you do? You post about it on social media. Day one of the journey, #grind. Why did you do that? Be honest. You did it because you wanted the applause before you did the work. You wanted the instant gratification of people saying, "Good for you, you got this." You just leaked your energy. You just vented the steam that should have been used to drive the engine. Science shows that when you announce your goals and get praise for them, your brain releases a premature hit of dopamine. You feel like you've already accomplished something. And because you feel satisfied, you are less likely to actually do the hard work. Stop announcing, start executing. I want you to become the ghost. The ghost moves in silence. The ghost does not broadcast his plans. The ghost disappears. You want to start a business? Don't tell a soul. Work on it in the dark for 6 months until it is generating revenue. Then let the results speak. You want to get in shape? Don't post a gym selfie. Wear baggy clothes. Train in the shadows. Let them notice 6 months later when you walk in and you are unrecognizable. Move in silence. Validation is for children. The ghost needs no applause. The ghost needs only the mission. This is difficult. Your ego wants to scream, "Look at me, look how hard I'm working." Starve the ego, feed the work. When you seek validation, you are handing your remote control to the world. You are saying, "Here are my buttons, please press them." If they press like, you feel good. If they press ignore, you feel bad. Take the remote control back. Smash it. That's the key. You must reach a point where your self-worth is non-negotiable. It is a fortress with the drawbridge up. No one gets in unless you let them. But what if they reject me? Let them. Rejection is a filter. Rejection removes the people who do not align with your mission. If you lose friends because you decided to improve your life, they were not friends. They were anchors. Cut the chain. Walk alone if you must. The higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes. There is less room at the top. You will see fewer people. This is the law of altitude. You cannot bring the whole crowd with you. If you are afraid of being alone, you will never reach the peak. You will stay at the bottom, huddled together with the masses, warm in the comfort of shared mediocrity. You have a choice. Do you want the warmth of the herd, or do you want the view from the summit? You cannot have both.
Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your actions. I'm doing this because... Stop. You owe them no explanation. No is a complete sentence. I am doing this is a complete statement. When you stop trying to convince people, you gain power. When you stop trying to be liked, you become formidable. People are drawn to those who do not need them. It is a paradox. The more you chase approval, the more it runs away. The more you ignore it and focus on your purpose, the more it follows you. But do not do it for that reason. Do not ignore them so that they will like you. That is just a manipulation game. That is still weakness. Ignore them because they are irrelevant. Focus on your craft. Focus on your body. Focus on your mind. Their doubt is your fuel. Imagine every negative comment, every skeptical look, every whisper behind your back is a log on your fire. They think they are drowning you? No, they are burning themselves to keep you warm. Use the spite. Spite is a powerful energy source. It is a dirty fuel, yes, but it burns hot. If you can't find the positive motivation, use the negative. Prove them wrong. Not so they will say, "Good job," but so you can look at them and say nothing at all. Silence is the ultimate power move. The sheep make noise. The lion moves in silence. Become the lion. Become the ghost. Kill the need to be liked. Murder it. Bury it in the backyard. From this moment on, you have one judge. That judge stares back at you in the mirror. Does he respect you? Does she respect you? If the person in the mirror respects you, nothing else matters. If the world loves you, but the person in the mirror is disgusted by you, you have failed. Validation is for children. You are a commander. Walk alone if you must. You have stripped away the blame. You have mastered your emotions. You have embraced the pain, and now you have cut the cords of social approval. You are standing alone, strong and silent. But now you face the longest battle. The excitement of the start is gone. The novelty has worn off. The adrenaline has faded. Now it is just you and the grind. Motivation will die. It always does. And when motivation dies, what is left? What keeps you moving when the fire goes out? Only one thing, a force colder and harder than motivation.
Chapter 6. Discipline over motivation, always. Stop waiting to feel like it. I said, stop waiting to feel like it. You are currently sitting around waiting for a magical wave of energy to hit you. You are waiting for the clouds to part and a beam of light to strike your forehead, filling you with the burning desire to do the work. You are watching motivational videos, listening to pumped-up music, trying to hack your dopamine receptors to get a temporary high. You are acting like a junkie. And like a junkie, you are useless without your fix. Here is the cold, hard truth that most self-help gurus won't tell you because it doesn't sell tickets. Motivation is a lie. It is a fairy tale. It is a ghost. It is the most unreliable force in the universe. Motivation is a fair-weather friend. When the sun is shining, when you are well-rested, when the coffee hits just right, motivation is there. It screams, "Let's go! We can do anything!" But what happens when the storm comes? What happens when you wake up with a headache? What happens when the baby kept you up all night? What happens when the deal falls through? Motivation disappears. It packs its bags and leaves you all alone in the dark. If your entire strategy for success is built on the foundation of motivation, you are building on quicksand. You will sink. The moment things get hard, and they will get hard, you will fold because the feeling is gone. You do not need motivation. You need discipline. Discipline is the contract you sign with yourself that is binding regardless of how you feel. Motivation is "I want to." Discipline is "I must." Motivation is emotional. Discipline is mechanical. Motivation is for amateurs. Discipline is for professionals. You have a choice. You can be the amateur who works only when the stars align, or you can be the professional who produces results every single day, regardless of the conditions. Discipline is freedom. That sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? We are taught that freedom means doing whatever we want. That is false. That is the definition of slavery. If you do whatever you want, you are a slave to your impulses. You are a slave to the donut. You are a slave to the snooze button. You are a slave to your laziness. True freedom is the ability to override your impulses. True freedom is the ability to choose your future over your present comfort.
When you have discipline, you are free from the tyranny of your own mood. You don't have to ask yourself, do I feel like working out today? The question is irrelevant. The decision was made yesterday. The decision was made years ago when you committed to the path. That's the key. You must remove the daily decision. I want to introduce you to a concept called the robot mode. The human brain consumes a massive amount of energy making decisions. What should I wear? What should I eat? Should I go to the gym now or later? Should I make the call? Every time you ask, should I, you are burning willpower. You are creating an opening for weakness to enter. You are opening a negotiation with yourself. And let me tell you, you are a terrible negotiator. You will always talk yourself out of the hard thing. You will always rationalize the easy path. I'll do it tomorrow. I deserve a break. Stop negotiating. Enter robot mode. Robot mode means automating your success habits so they require zero decision-making energy. A robot does not ask why. A robot does not say, I'm tired. A robot receives a command and executes the function. Do you need motivation to brush your teeth? Do you need a pep talk to put on your shoes? No, you just do it. It is automatic. It is non-negotiable. You must treat your mission with the same automated indifference. The alarm goes off. Robot mode engages. Feet on the floor, bathroom, water, gym gear, door. There is no pause. There is no thought. There is no how do I feel. You simply execute the code. You don't decide to go to the gym. You just go. You don't decide to write the report. You just write. This is how you bypass the emotional brain. You move before your brain has a chance to come up with an excuse. You move fast. You move mechanically. It's not about passion. It's about procedure. Passion is great. Passion is the spark. But discipline is the fuel that keeps the engine running for 10 years. You cannot run an engine on sparks. You need steady, boring, reliable fuel. Discipline is boring. Acceptance of this fact is crucial. The work is not always going to be exciting. Sometimes it is just shovel work. Sometimes it is just moving dirt from one pile to another. The amateur gets bored and quits. The iron mind shovels the dirt. Motivation is a lie because it implies that the work should feel good. It implies that you should be inspired to do your job. Who told you that? Do you think the men who built the pyramids were inspired every day? Do you think the soldiers in the trenches are motivated? No, they are disciplined. They have a job to do, and they do it because the alternative is unacceptable. Do it when you don't want to. This is the ultimate test. Anyone can work when they are motivated. That is easy. That counts for nothing. The separation happens on the days when you absolutely, positively do not want to be there. That is the holy ground. When you are exhausted, when you are stressed, when you are defeated, and you still do the work, that is when you are forging the iron mind. That is when you are earning your stripes. 1 hour of work done when you don't want to is worth 10 hours of work done when you do, because that 1 hour proves that you are the master of your vessel. But I'm burnt out, but I need self-care. be careful. Most of the time, self-care is just a fancy word for quitting. True self-care is building a life you can be proud of. True self-care is knowing you didn't quit on yourself. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from the guilt of underachievement. It frees you from the anxiety of procrastination. When you are disciplined, you sleep better at night because you know you paid your dues. You know you didn't cheat. You have a choice. You can continue to ride the waves of motivation, crashing into the rocks every time the tide goes out. You can continue to be a victim of your own fluctuating chemistry. Or you can build a bridge made of steel and concrete, a bridge that allows you to cross the gap between thought and action regardless of the weather. That bridge is discipline. Stop looking for the hack. Stop looking for the magic pill. Stop watching the videos. Just do the thing. But it's hard. Yes, that is the point. But I don't want to. I don't care. Do it anyway. Motivation is a lie. Action is truth. Look at your life right now. Look at the projects you haven't finished. Look at the goals you haven't reached. Why? Because you waited for the feeling. You waited for the right time. The right time is now. The feeling is irrelevant. Engage robot mode. Set the schedule, stick to the schedule. If the schedule says write at 8 a.m., you write at 8 a.m. If the house is on fire, you write at 8 a.m. You don't need their permission. You don't need the world to encourage you. You don't need a cheerleader. You need a code. The code is simple. I said I would do it, so I will do it. This is the definition of integrity. Integrity means you are integrated. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions are one piece. When you lack discipline, you lack integrity. You say one thing and do another. You lie to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Discipline is the truth. Do it when you don't want to. That is the mantra. Say it when the alarm rings. Say it when the muscles burn. Say it when the screen is blank. I don't want to, so I must. You have killed the need for motivation. You have established a machine-like consistency. You are moving every day regardless of how you feel. But now we must address the nature of your effort. You are working, yes, but are you truly committed? Or are you still have one foot out the door? Are you playing to win, or are you playing not to lose? There is a safety net underneath you. You know it's there, and as long as it is there, you will never fly. You will never exert maximum force. To reach the next level, we have to remove the net. We have to make failure impossible by making the consequences of failure unbearable. You must leave yourself no way out.
Chapter 7. The Zero Option Mentality. You are too safe. You are walking a tightrope, but the net underneath you is so wide, so soft, and so comfortable that you don't really care if you fall. In fact, part of you wants to fall. Falling would be easier. Falling would mean you could stop balancing, stop sweating, and just lie down in the safety net of your backup plan. This is why you are not elite. You have a plan B. You have a just in case. You have a hedge. Plan B is the assassin of Plan A. As long as you have a safety net, you will never fly. As long as you have a retreat option, you will never fight with the ferocity required to win. The human brain is designed to conserve energy and avoid risk. If your brain knows there's a safe way out, it will take it. It will unconsciously sabotage your maximum effort because it knows you won't die if you fail. You need to convince your brain that failure is fatal. You need the zero option mentality. Success or death. I am not speaking metaphorically. I am speaking about the death of your potential, the death of your dream, the death of the person you were meant to be. If you fail, that version of you dies. There is no retreat. History is filled with men who understood this physics of the human will. Ancient commanders knew that soldiers fight harder when they are trapped. Sun Tzu called it death ground. When you put an army on death ground where there is no escape, they will fight like demons. When you give them an escape route, they will flee. The most famous example comes from the Spanish conquest and from ancient Roman history before that. A commander lands his troops on enemy shores. The enemy outnumbers them 10 to 1. The soldiers are terrified. They look back at the ships, thinking about home. They are already planning their retreat. The commander sees this. He knows that as long as those ships are floating in the harbor, his men are already defeated. Their hearts are halfway home. So he gives the order, burn the boats. The men watch in horror as their only exit goes up in flames. They watch the wood turn to ash. They watch the ships sink. The commander turns to them and says, "There is no way home. The only way back is through the enemy. We win or we die." And they won. They won because the option of losing was removed from the table. They won because their survival instinct was hijacked and focused entirely on victory. You must burn the boats.
You have a choice. You can keep your ships in the harbor, keep your resume polished just in case, keep your toxic friends just in case, keep your foot in the door of mediocrity just in case, or you can light the match. That seems reckless, you say. That seems dangerous. That's the key. It is dangerous. Danger is the catalyst for evolution. You do not evolve in safety. You do not grow when you are secure. You grow when your back is against the wall and the wolves are closing in. You are playing life with the safety settings on. You are playing a video game where you have infinite lives. And because you have infinite lives, you play carelessly. You make stupid mistakes. You don't value the opportunity. The zero-option mentality forces you to play as if you have one life, one shot, one opportunity. What is your boat? What is the thing you are clinging to that allows you to be mediocre? Is it your parents' money? Is it a job you hate but pays the bills, keeping you from starting the business you love? Is it a relationship that is dead but you're afraid to be alone? Is it the belief that I can always try again later? Later is a boat. Burn it. Maybe is a boat. Burn it. You don't need their permission to be radical. The world will tell you to be sensible. The world will tell you to diversify your risks. The world wants you to be average. The average man hedges his bets. The great man pushes all his chips into the center of the table. It's not about gambling, it's about commitment. When you commit fully, the universe gets out of your way. There is a tangible shift in reality when a human being decides, I am doing this or I am dying trying. People can feel it, clients can feel it, enemies can feel it. They feel the lack of fear, they feel the zero option. If you are trying to start a business while keeping your safe corporate job, you will likely fail. Why? Because when the business gets hard, and it will, you will say, this is too stressful, at least I have my salary, and you will quit. But if you have no salary, if the rent is due and there is zero money coming in unless you sell, you will pick up the phone, you will knock on doors, you will find a way. Success or death. Your hunger must be absolute. I want you to audit your life right now. Where are you hedging? Where are you holding back 10% of your effort because you're afraid of looking stupid if it doesn't work? Put that 10% in. Put it all in. Burn the boats.
This is terrifying. I know. It is supposed to be terrifying. If your goals don't scare you, they aren't goals. They are errands. But understand this. The fear of no retreat is the only thing that can conquer the fear of failure. When the fear of staying where you are becomes greater than the fear of moving forward, you will move. You have to make the consequences of not succeeding unbearable. Tell people what you are going to do.
Make a public promise. Lock yourself into a deadline that you cannot miss without destroying your reputation. Create a scenario where you cannot back down. When you cut off the retreat, you sharpen the senses. Your vision clears, the distractions fade away. The zero-option mind is a laser. It sees only the target. There is no retreat. Look at the athletes who made it out of the slums. Look at the immigrants who arrived with $10 in their pocket. Why do they succeed at such a high rate? Because they had no choice. There was no safety net. There was no rich dad to bail them out. They had to win. Necessity is the mother of invention? No, necessity is the mother of greatness. You have been resting on the cushion of optional. You treat your success as optional. It would be nice to be rich. It would be nice to be fit. Change the vocabulary. It is necessary to be rich. It is necessary to be fit. If you were held underwater, you wouldn't say, it would be nice to have air. You would fight. You would claw. You would do anything for oxygen. Success must be your oxygen. There is no retreat. The past is gone. The boats are ash. The future is the only direction left. You have a choice. You can live a life of Plan B, a life of what-ifs, a life of almost. Or you can live a life of I did. To do that, you must kill the part of you that craves safety. You must embrace the exposure. You must stand in the open field naked to the elements, armed only with your will. Burn the boats. Watch the fire. Let the heat warm your face, and then turn around and face the mountain. You are going up. There is no going back. Now you have secured the external perimeter. You have destroyed the escape routes. You have committed to the path of no return. You are ready to march. But as you begin this climb, as the pressure mounts and the safety net disappears, a voice is going to start talking to you. It is a whisper at first, then a scream. It is the voice of doubt. It is the voice of the saboteur. It lives inside your own head, and it is the last enemy you must conquer before you can claim the prize. You have burned the ships. Now you must silence the mutiny within.
Chapter 8. Silence the inner saboteur. The most dangerous conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. You think your worst enemy is the economy. You think it is your boss. You think it is the competition. You are wrong. The most lethal enemy you face lives between your ears. It is the voice that whispers to you in the dark. It is the voice that rationalizes your weakness. It is the inner saboteur. And right now, for most of you, that voice is winning. You wake up with a plan. You are going to crush the day. You are going to eat clean, work hard, and stay focused. Then, the voice starts. You look tired, it says. Maybe start tomorrow. This is too hard, it says. You deserve a break. They won't buy from you, it says. Don't make the call. This voice is not your friend. It is not intuition. It is a biological failsafe designed to keep you safe, small, and energy efficient. It wants you to survive, but it does not give a damn if you succeed. You must silence the inner saboteur. You must grab that voice by the throat and crush it. You have a choice. You can listen to the critic who wants you to fail, or you can install a new voice. You can install a drill sergeant. The critic whines. The drill sergeant commands. The critic negotiates. The drill sergeant executes. Most of your life is spent in a state of negotiation. You are constantly debating with yourself. Should I do this? How do I feel about this? Stop. You are talking too much and doing too little. Analysis is the playground of the coward. You analyze the gym workout so much you never go. You analyze the business plan so much you never launch. You think you are being smart.
you are actually stalling. You are hiding fear behind the mask of intellect. Shut up and work. I want to introduce you to a concept called the drift. The drift is that specific, dangerous split second between the thought of doing something difficult and the action of doing it. You look at the cold shower. That is the stimulus. You step into the shower. That is the action. The time in between, that is the drift. In the drift, the saboteur wakes up. In the drift, the excuses multiply like bacteria. If you stay in the drift for more than 3 seconds, you will talk yourself out of it. The saboteur knows your weak spots. It knows exactly what to say to make you fold. It's too cold today. You might get sick. You worked hard yesterday. Take it easy. Override the hesitation. That's the key. You must kill the drift before it kills your momentum. You must close the gap. How do you do this? You use the override command. This is a psychological trigger. It is a weapon you carry in your mind. You need to pick a word, a single, violent, monosyllabic word that acts as a circuit breaker for your negative thought loops. Go, now, move, kill. Pick one. Here's the protocol. The moment you feel the hesitation, the moment you feel the saboteur clearing his throat to speak, you scream that word in your mind. You scream it so loud internally that it drowns out the doubt. And then you move immediately. You do not wait for the feeling of readiness. You act on the command. You are staring at the phone, afraid to make the sales call. The saboteur starts. Maybe they are at lunch. Override. Go. You pick up the phone. You were lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. The saboteur starts. 5 more minutes. Override. Up. Your feet hit the floor. You don't need their permission. You don't need your brain's permission to move your body. Your brain is a suggestion box. It is full of bad ideas. You are the commander. You do not have to open the suggestion box. You can burn it. It's not about willpower, it's about speed. Speed kills fear. Fear needs time to grow. Fear needs a narrative. If you move fast enough, fear cannot catch you. If you override the hesitation instantly, the saboteur never gets a chance to speak. You have to understand that your internal monologue is often a liar. It tells you that you are about to break when you are really at 40% capacity. It tells you that everyone is judging you when nobody cares. It tells you that you can't do it when you absolutely can. Why do you trust this voice? It has been wrong 1,000 times. It has held you back 1,000 times. Stop respecting the saboteur. Treat it like a heckler in the audience. Would you stop your speech because one drunk idiot in the back row yelled something? No, you would ignore him. You would have security throw him out. Throw the saboteur out. Shut up and work. This requires a fundamental reprogramming of your identity. You need to stop viewing yourself as a thinker and start viewing yourself as a doer. Thinkers are often miserable. They live in the simulation of their own heads. They replay past failures. They simulate future catastrophes. They are trapped in a loop of what if. Doers are free. They are too busy moving to worry. They are too busy executing to doubt. You are talking too much and doing too little. Look at the results in your life. The areas where you were failing are the areas where you were thinking the most and doing the least. The areas where you were succeeding are likely the areas where you just put your head down and did the work. This is not a coincidence. The override command is not just for big things. It is for everything. It is for the dishes in the sink. It is for the email you need to send. It is for the difficult conversation with your partner. Every time you hesitate, you feed the saboteur. You make him stronger. You teach your brain that hesitation is an acceptable response to stress. Every time you override, you starve the saboteur. You teach your brain that action is the only response to stress. Override the hesitation. Make it a game. Catch yourself drifting. Ah, there it is.
There is the resistance. Then, boom, override, move. It feels aggressive. Good, it should be. You are at war with your own mediocrity. You cannot be polite with a cancer. You must cut it out. The saboteur is the cancer of the mind. But I need to plan. Planning is fine, but most of you aren't planning. You are procrastinating with a spreadsheet. You are using research as a shield against the pain of starting. You know enough. You know what to do. You're just afraid to do it. You have a choice. You can keep debating with the coward inside you, or you can become the drill sergeant. The drill sergeant does not care if you are sad. He cares if your boots are polished. The drill sergeant does not care if you don't feel like running. He cares that you run. Adopt this persona. When the saboteur whines, answer with the drill sergeant. Saboteur, I'm tired. Drill sergeant, irrelevant. Keep moving. Saboteur, I'm afraid. Fear is reaction. Courage is a decision. Move. Saboteur, I might fail. Then fail moving forward. Don't fail standing still. Shut up and work. This is the mantra of the iron mind. When in doubt, work. When in fear, work. When in pain, work. Work solves problems that thinking only magnifies. You are building a reflex of immediate action. Think about a fighter pilot. When a missile locks onto him, he does not pause to contemplate the meaning of life. He does not ask his feelings for permission. He reacts. He executes the maneuver. If he hesitates, he dies. You are dying a slow death every time you hesitate. You are killing your dreams with seconds of silence. Stop the drift. Use the override command. This week, I want you to be ruthless with your internal dialogue. Do not let a single negative thought finish its sentence. Cut it off. Interrupt it. I can't. No. Go. What if? Shut up. Work. You are the master of the house. The voices are guests. If they are rude, kick them out. If they are loud, silence them. It's not about positive thinking. It's about authority. Positive thinking is nice, but it's soft. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. That's cute. But when you are in the trenches, you don't need affirmations. You need orders. Give yourself orders and then obey them. If you say you are going to do it and then you debate it, you are mutinying against your own command. A ship with a mutinous crew sinks. You must be the captain and the crew crew must obey the captain without question. Override the hesitation. When you master this, you become lighter. The weight of indecision falls off your shoulders. You stop worrying because you know that whatever comes, you will act. You will not freeze. You are talking too much and doing too little. That ends today. From now on, the only voice allowed to speak is the one that says, forward. You have burned the boats. You have silenced the enemy within. You have cleared the path. Now there is only one thing left to do. Thinking is over. Planning is over. Talking is over. We have arrived at the only truth that the universe respects. We have arrived at the physical manifestation of your will.
Chapter 9. Action is the only truth. Words are cheap. Thoughts are free. Intentions are invisible. There is only one currency that holds any value in the real world. There is only one thing that separates the dreamer from the achiever, the amateur from the professional, the child from the man. That currency is action. You can read every book in the library. You can watch every tutorial on the internet. You can hire the best consultants and draw the most elaborate mind maps on the whiteboard. But until you physically move your body and execute the task, you have accomplished absolutely nothing. You are hallucinating progress. You are confusing motion with action. Motion is planning, researching, and strategizing. Motion feels like work, but it produces no result. Action is the behavior that delivers the result. Writing down "go to the gym" is motion. Lifting the weight is action. Researching how to start a business is motion. Calling a customer and asking for money is action. Action is the only truth. If you cannot point to a physical result, a signed contract, a sweating body, a published article, then you have been lying to yourself. You have been hiding in the safety of your own head. Thinking is often procrastination in disguise. You tell yourself you are preparing. You tell yourself you need more information. You tell yourself you are analyzing the risks. That is a lie. You are scared. You are terrified of the reality of the work, so you retreat into the fantasy of the plan. You build castles in the sky because you are afraid to lay bricks in the mud. Analysis is paralysis. The more you think, the more problems you will find. The more you analyze, the more reasons your brain will generate for why you shouldn't start. If you stare at the cliff long enough, you will never jump. You have a choice. You can be the smartest person in the room who never did anything, or you can be the person who stumbled, fell, got up, and built an empire while the smart people were still critiquing his strategy. The iron mind prefers imperfect action over perfect theory. But what if I do it wrong? Then you do it wrong, and you learn, and you fix it, and you do it again. That is called adaptation. You cannot steer a parked car. You can only steer a vehicle that is moving. Move or die. In nature, stagnation is death. Water that sits still becomes stagnant and poisonous. Water that moves remains clear and alive. Your life is the same. If you stop moving, you start dying. Your potential rots. Your confidence decays. Action cures fear. This is the antidote. You have been looking for a way to get rid of your anxiety. You have been trying to think your way out of fear. You can't. You cannot think your way out of a prison made of thoughts. You must act your way out.
Fear lives in the future. Fear is a simulation of what might go wrong. Action forces you into the present. When you are busy executing, you don't have the mental bandwidth to be afraid. You don't need their permission. You don't need a degree. You don't need a guarantee. You just need to move. Let's implement a protocol to bypass your overactive brain. Let's talk about the 5-second rule on steroids. You may have heard of counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is cute, but for the iron mind, we need something more aggressive. Here is the rule. If you have a thought about doing something beneficial, you must move your body within 5 seconds or you have failed the test. I don't mean decide to do it. I mean move your physical mass. You think, I should go for a run. You have 5 seconds to stand up and put on your shoes. If you are still sitting on the couch at second number 6, you have failed. You have let the saboteur win. You think, I should send that email. You have 5 seconds to open the laptop and type the first letter. You must connect the neural pathway between thought and kinetic energy. Analysis is paralysis. Speed is the cure. When you operate this way, you become terrifying to your competition. While they're having meetings to plan meetings, you have already launched. While they are debating the font size on the website, you have already made sales. It's not about perfection, it's about momentum. Momentum is the most powerful force in success. It is hard to push a train to get it started, but once that train is moving at 100 miles per hour, it can smash through a brick wall and not even slow down. You are currently standing still, staring at the brick wall, wondering how to climb it. Start the train, smash the wall. But I might make a mistake. So what? The graveyard is full of people who never made a mistake because they never made a move. Action is the only truth. Look at your to-do list. How long have those items been there? Days? Weeks? Months? They are rotting. They are weighing you down. Every undone task is a mental anchor dragging behind you. Cut the chain. Do them or delete them, but do not let them sit there. You have a choice. You can live in the hypothetical world where you are a hero, or you can live in the physical world where you are a worker. The hypothetical world is comfortable. In your head, you are rich, fit, and respected. In your head, you have won the arguments.
In your head, you are safe. But look in the mirror. Look at your bank account. Look at your body. That is the truth. If you don't like the truth, you must change your actions. You cannot change the truth by thinking harder. Move or die. I want you to become aggressive with your execution. Stop walking, run. Stop talking, do. When someone asks, how are you going to do that? Reply, watch me. Action is the ultimate silencer of critics. You can argue with a man's philosophy, but you cannot argue with his results. When you put the numbers on the board, the debate ends. That's the key. Results are the key, and results only come from the fire of action. You are waiting for confidence. I told you before, confidence is a byproduct. Confidence comes after you jump. You were standing on the edge of the diving board. You were shivering. You were looking down at the water. The longer you stand there, the higher the board seems to get. The longer you stand there, the colder the water looks. Jump. The moment your feet leave the board, the fear vanishes. The moment you hit the water, you are alive. Action cures fear. Stop refining the plan. The plan is good enough. A violent execution of a mediocre plan is better than a perfect plan that never leaves the binder. Go now. Don't pause this audio to think about it. What is the one thing you have been avoiding today? Identify it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Do it messy. Do it ugly. Just do it. You don't need their permission to be messy. You don't need their permission to stumble. The baby stumbles 1,000 times before it walks. The master fails more times than the beginner has even tried. Embrace the stumble. It means you are moving. You have now destroyed the habit of hesitation. You have become a creature of action. You are moving fast. You are breaking things. You are making progress. But there is one final trap. Action is easy to do once. It is easy to be a hero for one day. It is easy to go to the gym on January 1st. It is easy to work hard when the project is new and exciting. But what about day 30? What about day 300? What about when the excitement is gone, the weather is bad, and the results haven't shown up yet? Most people quit. They have intensity, but they lack the one thing that actually builds empires. You have learned to act. Now, you must learn to never stop. You must sign the contract that has no expiration date. Chapter 10. The Iron Contract. No days off. This is where the amateurs leave the room. We have talked about mindset. We have talked about pain. We have talked about action. And if you have listened this far, you are probably feeling fired up. You are ready to run through a wall. You are ready to change your life today. That is the problem. Today is easy. Everyone is a champion for one day. Everyone can eat clean for 24 hours. Everyone can wake up early once. But can you do it for 1,000 days in a row? This is the filter. This is the great wall that separates the elite from the forgotten. It is not talent. It is not genetics. It is not luck. It is consistency. Consistency is the killer of competition. Look around at the people you are competing with. They are smarter than you? Maybe. They are more talented? Maybe. But I guarantee you they are inconsistent. They work hard for 3 weeks and then they take a week off because they are burned out. They go hard in January and they're back on the couch by February. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be the one who never stops coming. You need to be the Terminator. You need to be the force that simply does not know how to stop. While they are resting, you are moving. While they are celebrating a small win, you are moving. While they are crying over a loss, you are moving. The iron mind never rusts because it is always in use. If you leave a piece of iron out in the rain and do not touch it, it oxidizes, it becomes brittle, it breaks. But if you polish that iron every day, if you use it, if you heat it, it stays strong, it stays sharp. You have a choice. You can be the flash in the pan, bright, hot, and gone in a second. Or you can be the glacier, slow, heavy, and reshaping the entire landscape of the earth simply because you refuse to stop pushing. The rent is due every day. Success is not owned, it is leased, and the landlord is standing at your door every single morning waiting for payment. You don't pay with money, you pay with sweat, you pay with focus, you pay with uncomfortable action. You paid yesterday? Doesn't matter. That covered yesterday. Today is a new lease. If you don't pay today, you get evicted. You get evicted from the house of excellence and thrown back into the slums of mediocrity. But I achieved my goal. So what? The goal is not the finish line. The goal is the new baseline. You made $1 million? Good. Now the rent is higher. You lost 20 pounds? Good. Now the rent is maintenance. The rent is due every day. There are no holidays from high performance. There are no weekends off from your character. Do you think integrity takes a day off? Do you think discipline takes a vacation? That sounds exhausting, you say. That sounds like a prison. No, that's the key. Inconsistency is the prison. When you are inconsistent, you are constantly starting over. Starting over is the hardest thing in the world. The momentum is zero. The friction is maximum. You have to use massive amounts of energy just to get back to where you were.
When you are consistent, you have momentum. You are flying. It takes less energy to keep moving at high speed than it does to stop and start again. Consistency is freedom. It is the freedom of momentum. I want to give you the strategy to secure this freedom. It is called the chain strategy. Imagine a calendar on your wall, a physical calendar. Every day that you execute your core habits, every day that you wake up on time, do the work, and eat right, you take a red marker and you put a big fat X on that day. Day 1, X. Day 2, X. Day 3, X. After a week, you have a chain. After a month, the chain is long. It is a visual representation of your discipline. Your only job is this: never break the chain. You do not focus on the results. You do not focus on the finish line. You focus on the X. You don't need their permission to build your chain. You don't need the world to clap for your X. The X is for you. It is proof that you showed up. But here's where people fail. They think consistency means intensity. They think every workout has to be a personal best. They think every workday has to be 12 hours of deep focus. That is unsustainable. You will get sick. You will have bad days. Life will punch you in the face. On those days, the amateur quits. I can't do my full workout, so I'll do nothing. I can't write 1,000 words, so I'll write 0. Broken chain. The iron mind understands the secret: consistency over intensity. On your worst day, when you have the flu, when your dog died, when you are exhausted, you do not quit. You do the bare minimum. You can't run 5 miles? Walk around the block. You can't write a chapter? Write 1 sentence. You can't lift heavy? Do 10 push-ups. Keep the contract alive. Put the X on the board. It's not about performance, it's about continuity. The habit of showing up is more important than the quality of the work on any single day. If you show up on your worst day, you prove to your subconscious that you are unstoppable. You prove that there is no condition on earth that can prevent you from executing. Never break the chain. If you break the chain once, it becomes easy to break it twice. 1 missed day is a mistake.
2 missed days is the start of a new habit, the habit of quitting. Don't let the chain cool down.
You have a choice. You can be the person who negotiates with the calendar. Oh, it's a holiday. Oh, it's my birthday. Does the enemy care it's your birthday? Does the market care it's a holiday? No, the rent is due every day. This is the iron contract. It is a contract you sign with yourself. There is no exit clause. There is no expiration date. It is a lifetime appointment. No days off doesn't mean you don't rest. It means you don't take days off from your standards. You can rest your body, but you never rest your discipline. You recover with intent, not with laziness. Even your rest is a strategic action to enable future performance. This is what supremacy looks like. It is boring. It is repetitive. It is unglamorous. It is waking up and doing the same thing over and over and over again while everyone else is looking for variety. The amateur craves variety. The master craves repetition. Bruce Lee said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Be the man who kicks 10,000 times. Be the boring, reliable, dangerous machine that simply never stops. You don't need to be brilliant. You just need to be there every single day. When the competition gives up, you are there. When the economy crashes, you are there. When the hype fades, you are there. Consistency over intensity. Look at the Grand Canyon. It was not formed by a giant explosion. It was formed by a river that just kept flowing day after day, year after year. The rock was hard, but the water was consistent, and eventually the water cut through the stone. You are the river. The world is the stone. If you stop flowing, you dry up. If you keep flowing, nothing can stand in your way. So here is your instruction. Buy a calendar, put it on the wall, get a marker, start the chain, and make a vow to the person in the mirror, "I will not break this line." If you can do this, if you can truly embrace the grind of consistency, you will look back in a year and you will not recognize your life. The results compound. They stack up. The slope of the curve goes vertical. But only if you don't stop. The iron contract is signed in sweat. The ink is dry. There is no going back. You have walked through the fire. You have rebuilt your mind. You have destroyed your excuses. You have burned the boats. You have silenced the saboteur. You have taken action, and now you have committed to the eternal march. The structure is complete. The iron mind is forged. But a weapon is useless if it sits on a shelf. A weapon is made for war. And make no mistake, you are stepping onto the battlefield. The training is over. The test begins now.
The theory is over. The listening is done. Now the war begins. You have the blueprint, but a blueprint cannot build a house. You must lay the bricks. The old version of you, the one who complained, the one who hesitated, the one who sought comfort, is dead. We buried him in the last hour. You are now a machine of intent. When you wake up tomorrow, do not ask yourself how you feel. Ask yourself what must be done. Let pain be your fuel. Let obstacles be your instructions. The world will try to break you, but you are no longer glass. You are iron. Go out there and dominate your reality. Do not bend, do not break. Do the work now.